Another video. This time we're doing a in-depth guide to Onigiri. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to talk about is where you're going to be located when you start off the game. This area is called Onigashima. This area is called Onigashima. And in this area, we have a assortment of characters, in-game characters, that do a specific thing. And that specific thing being a shop, an in-game shop, skill evolution, alcohol, which also provides buffs, so you can kind of consider it an elixir, Magatama crafting, dissolution, and ornamentation, storage, identification, and lastly, weaponsmithing. So, and can't forget titles, which also provide a buff. We have Susanoo here, who has done kind of like instant dungeons. These characters here are going to pretty much bread and butter the entire game. Oh, and can't forget Yoshitsune, she also has the repair option as well. So we're going to go in the line. With Shizuka here, you get a storage, and recently they added a double storage, because in this game you collect a lot of items and it starts getting overflowed. You can also buy certain things to increase the amount of storage that you have. So my base storage is increased with the friendship items, which are these items here. These 4 items here as well. These friendship items can be pretty much gotten anywhere. They can drop in any dungeon. They can drop anywhere. There are, even when you're doing your gacha spins, they have these friendship items here, and essentially they are used to level up your partners. Now there are specific places to go to acquire them as well, and one of those places are on the islands, which is pretty far in the game. So this is a beginner guide, so I'm just going to tell you what you need to know in the beginning, and then I'm going to intermediate and then end game. So, with the addition of these characters here, you have Lady Suzuka, Yoshitsune, Miyoku, Doji, Momotaro, Kaguya, Susanoo, and Amaterasu. Each character is pretty much giving a level, and these bonuses, you can also use them if you press the summon button here. It has a summoning system where you can summon the character to help you fight. However, these aren't considered vanguards, so you cannot turn into them, but they can help you fight throughout your story. That's if you don't have any of these special vanguards which you can use and turn into. So, these are going to be considered your vanguards, and a lot of people, there's a lot of vanguards in the game that are power creeped by other vanguards. However, when you're beginning the game, you're pretty much probably not going to start out with one unless you start off on like a New Year's event or something like that. They give one out for free then. Sometimes they have little things where you can just pop $10 and then you get it right there. These are going to be considered your bread and butter. Now, there is ways to get your character as strong as your vanguards, but for a newer player, it's going to be easier just to use the vanguards because they give different type of stats per character. So, we're going to go into detail of what these stats are. So, if you notice, whenever you're fighting a yokai in the field or a boss or anything like that, You notice it have a soul type, monster, beast type, and I believe no, I think that's just those four. If not, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just those four. So each Vanguard itself has a stat bonus against specific types of monster. So if you see a SL next to a monster's name, typically that means it's a soul type monster. And this specific Vanguard here, Valkyrie, is strong to soul type and weak against monster type, which means you probably take more damage in the case of fighting a monster type than using it against a soul type. So that also plays into effect with your power inside of your Vanguards. So here, Valkyrie, she is a Pierce, Ice, Holy, and crit with a ton of other buffs as well. These increase the more you level her up. Currently, she's level 1. This is just to give you an explanation of. It's just to give you an explanation of the fighting ability at base. So here's a Vanguard here. He's weak against Soul, strong against Monster type, strong against Beast type, and he has 90 Slice element, which is great. Negative Pierce, plus Impact, plus Mountain, negative Wind, plus Holy. So he's a Mountain and Holy impact character, right? And because each element has a opposite in this game, typically they're going to be weak to their opposite element. So and the opposite elements, which I'm going to show you here. I'm going to show you here. Yeah, fire, lightning, water, wind, poison, ice, dark, mountain, holy, and that's flight. This is slice. This would be. I'm not sure what this is actually. I know this is slice though. It's either impact or these one are either impact or pierce element here. Not sure which one it is though. But your main important elements are going to be right here. There are events that give you element-specific Magatamas, which I'm going to get into Magatama shortly. But I'm covering Vanguards right now to tell y'all that most of your power is going to be coming from. Most of your power is going to be coming from your elements, as well as your quick force and how you build your character. Once you get to a certain point in Onigiri, the status allocation is pretty straightforward and simple. I'm a daring character, so I like to use Odachi, and it's a power tank focused build. There are different types of builds per each type, your personality trait. I'll go into that a little bit more. So per personality trait, let's go ahead and go back to character selection. Per personality trait is how you want to center your character around. So let's say you create a new character and you say, oh, I want to be a, just gonna select that. So I want to be a power character. It tells you, kind of self-explanatory, powers, sword, odachi, axe, and spear. You know, tough, which is pretty much a tank. Defensive is going to be like spear, staff, you know. If you want to go spear and staff, I would typically suggest going vitality. Staff is definitely going to be mind, and wands whiz. Power is sword and axe. Dex is twin swords and bow. So you're gonna have like these here. Typically, it shows you how the stats should be allocated. Um, each stat that you do pick, please don't just pick one stat and then just stick to it. Explore around. But typically this is the screen that you're going to see when you're starting your new character on Onigiri. I know this can get kind of confusing and later down the line, but it's not that hard of a game. Everything is kind of self-explanatory. So back to what I was saying about agatamas and weapons. Each weapons have their own stats that they have equipped to each weapon. So we'll go into that a little bit here. So for the bow that I have equipped right now, see it here. So each weapon is going to pretty much be categorized into grade and a base attack. These are, well, grade you can get up to 100 pretty fairly easily using enhancement items. However, attack is severely dedicated to RNG. So your attack power can pretty much range from a wide, broad aspect, and you can even reset your enhancement levels down to get your attack power up, which is very, very, very expensive, but it could be worth in the long run. But please do keep in mind that when you reset your enhancement levels, it could have the chance to be lower than it was before. So just keep that in mind. So this is gonna be your base attack power here. This 19,000. The grade pretty much also increases your attack damage, and then each weapon has its own stats. So I'm gonna get a little bit of more of a simpler weapon out here, so yeah, I can really see what I mean by stats. Okay. So for the Shadow Talon Floggers, right? This is a twin sword. If you look at the bottom under that ungi, it says basic attack combo 50%, which is a 50% bonus to your basic attack. Slice, it gives you slice element, impact element, negative, which is negative impact element, and fire element, negative rain, ice element plus, and mountain element. So each of these are pretty much going to give you stats and negative stats towards your character. These aren't changeable. However, the more you upgrade the said weapon to a crafted higher tier, and higher tier being like a, for example, a gargoyle. I'm just gonna look here. Higher tier would be a gargoyle to another gargoyle, which is right here. You'll see the recipes I'm talking about. So that means by higher tier, there's a tier system inside of here. So we're gonna look at this. Divine Judgment. This is the base recipe for an Odachi. It's circled around the lightning element and rain, and it has negative mountain. So this is a lightning and rain element weapon here. And the level, as you can see, is 115. You can get it at 95. But yeah, so what I mean by upgradable, you're gonna need a paragon to craft this, and then once you craft that, you're gonna need to have this weapon here at level 10, and then to craft this, then you're gonna need all the items here for the recipe, and then from there you're gonna need a level 15 plus Divine Judgment droplet to make the rainwater, which isn't really that hard. But each there's typically a order to things inside of here. So like we need the base version and then the upgraded version, you know. It kind of goes in that kind of system with the game. So moving on, this will give me a good opportunity to show you what smelting weapons are. So remember how I said the weapon level would have to be 15 in order to craft a higher version of that? This is how you get it pretty much to that said level. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use a random weapon here to demonstrate. And then you need these artisan treasure swords. So typically you would need another weapon, but you can get these artisan treasure swords fairly easily, and I'll show you how. So I gotta use that. These are the items. These aren't all the items you can use, but they do have a ton of items that they give you free daily or whenever an event comes out. This is where it would be at. The reset button is pretty much, it presents the loss of a weapon. This percentage down here is 0%, will actually go up the more you level this up. And from there, yeah, it like once it goes up, you have a chance to lose the weapon. So please be careful. Losing your weapon means it's destroyed. You can't get it back. It's gone. It's gone. And be careful when you're repairing as well, because you also have a chance of losing the weapon as well. Okay, so I'm gonna put a smelting reset button, and I don't really need these now because it's still at 0%. You also have a chance of failing, and when it fails, the durability goes down. So I'm gonna grade up +3 and success 5. It's very, very expensive the higher you go up. So this is already 3 million just for a level 30 weapon to 40. We'll go ahead and go to confirmation screen and smelt, and it was successful. So now from here you can use weapons that you gathered in the around the world, or you identified, which I'm going to show you identified after this. Smelting, go to weapon enhancement, find the weapon that you upgraded just now, which is, it was a Emperor's Scepter, and then typically you would use any random sword to level it up that you have just laying around. You go ahead and enhance it. Okay, skip, and that raises your base attack power by pretty much 1,000. Yeah, and it's weapon enhancement level 40 now. So that's pretty much how enhancement works. It levels up your base attack damage, and gives you a better grade whenever you put the grade up higher. Having grade 100 is always going to be the best for getting that that best weapon that it can possibly be. So I'm going to go ahead and show you identification. Tying into your weapon smelting and weapon enhancement is going to be identification. Now, these weapons drop inside of the dungeon. It'll say like gold weapon or silver weapon or bronze weapon inside your dungeon or whatever one you're in. Typically, I would suggest picking them all up, because not only can you use this for your weapon enhancement, but you can also use it to level up your vanguards, which is absolutely amazing. So we're gonna go ahead and identify this. So here's a great palette of example of what a weapon would typically look like. Here are the stats it gives here, all lined up for you. There are the stats here all lined up for you. The base attack power is 5,000. The durability is 1,196. We have a minimum level of 105. And these are the skills here. each skill has a rank. The more you use it, the more the rank goes up, and the more the power it has as well. But and tying into weapon rank, I'll also show you something cool you can do with that as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and demonstrate it one more time, see if I can get a different weapon, and my inventory is full. Great opportunity to show you what the storage is for. Okay. So, we're going to do another weapon here. I'm going to do 3 weapons actually, just to demonstrate. So, this is a 7-star sword. It just gives holy element. However, it has a lower base attack from the other weapon, and the minimum level is lower as well. So the higher the minimum level is, the better it is. I got a talisman as well. As you can see right there, the holy element plus 25 is there, and got that as well. Okay. So we're gonna do it a couple more times. I'm gonna demonstrate what it looks like when you want to level up a Vanguard. Here's your stats. It increases item drop rate. It gives you skill force. I'm gonna get into skill force in a second, and wind element. So let's go ahead and next. This one's a bow. As you can see here, these are the stats it gives. Minimum level 103, and that means you have to be level 103 to use it. And here's another spear. So, okay. I think we got the gist of that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate. I hope I have a skill evolution. So you have skill evolution and skill extraction. So once your skill level reaches a max level, you can evolve it. See here, evolve. So it goes up a rank. Up a rank meaning it's an enhanced version of the skill itself. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, obviously, and going up from there. Yeah, going up from there is pretty much just leveling it up, getting it to the max level, and then moving from there. And skill extraction. So you can extract certain skills for a fee off said weapon. So this actually demonstrates every skill I believe in the game that you can put on a specific weapon. It's actually pretty cool. So if you're ever wondering what weapon skill that I have, it kind of shows you what your skill does, the element, and everything associated with that. And it even demonstrates the rank here, so it's in Roman numerals. So sometimes the higher it goes, the more the skill does. So for example, I know the Duststorm Blast here, it does a consecutive strike at a higher level. So it does 2 strikes whenever you get it to 5, whenever you level up that high. And the force, which is also the attack power, goes up considerably the higher the rank of the skill. And you can extract skills once you have maxed them out. So because I already maxed out the Dancer Strike and the Blue Fang Blade, I can simply extract it. And you get a skill card which is pretty much just you go in here in your inventory, and it should be in this section here. These are where all your ungis, your skill cards, and your combo sets are going to be. That you have gained throughout your playthrough. Majority of the time now they have dungeons for each of those. They have dungeons for each of these. So like let's say today, which is probably it gives a specific weapon, so I'm gonna walk over here real quick. So I'm gonna walk over here real quick and show y'all. Okay, so daily dungeons. See? So, skill card all means that you can get for every weapon. Yeah. Gives all attributes of weapons. Each difficulty is going to give you a higher tier. And if you're looking for a specific skill, that's the best place to go. And if you're looking for better skills on your weapons, that's also one of the better places to go. They recently added that a while ago. And moving on from skill evolution, we have the shop here. Okay, so recently they added in the shop the option to buy certain weapons that really just weapons and magatamas that really just enhance you through the game. These are level locked. However, this starting at 120, well, highest being 120, lowest being level 50. So pretty much you would get to level 50, level his affection, or giving it like by giving him a present. So I'm gonna demonstrate here real quick. Just giving him a present and leveling him up. And typically to acquire these, you need to be the Mirrored Kings. You have to be level 100, and also he has to be level 10. So once you level this up, sometimes one of these stats will increase. Going into detail, that would be kind of hard because each level is different, but one of these will increase. And typically whenever they increase, you get better options in the shop. So currently, because I'm level 17, inside the shop you get an assortment of items, and typically the item level will show you how far you are with the shop. So if we go to his bargains, which change, I believe, daily or every time you level him up, sometimes it has good items, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always good to check that sometimes. And it changes periodically, daily, every daily reset it changes, but you can typically tell where you're at with his shop whatever the level of your weapons are. So let's say, like, because I'm at level 17, my shop should be at level 20, to be honest with you. It's not really that OP. Surprisingly, it's at level 40. Okay. Yeah, it's at level 40, but these unlock at level 10. You gotta get him to level 10 with affection, and you gotta be level 100 to use them. Not bad, but these you can get in the start of the game, which these are also really good. These aren't bad. Start out with. They're not bad at all. And they look clean. I'm not even gonna cap to y'all. Moving on. Circle here. He has dungeons inside of him, which gives you rewards. Sometimes Magatamas. He also have challenges that you can do. I'm pretty sure they are. I'm gonna go ahead and do one for y'all here, real quick. So you go on the challenge, do it. I'm pretty sure they're timed. So it goes like a time challenge kind of thing. Go in here. And it's a challenge. And it's time. So the faster you do it, the better, I guess. It's not really that hard. See the rewards I got for doing that actually. I think something leveled up. Yeah, like barely any experience for that, but hey, if you want to challenge yourself, go ahead and do it. But what's really important is what's in his Arimata, or however you pronounce that. So, there's different entrances inside of... Sorry about that. There's different entrances inside of each thing that gives specific rewards. They're kind of set up in a... They're set up in kind of like a challenge kind of thing. So going from Daybreak all the way over... Get Magatamas. We're clearing them in a certain time frame, and you can't use Vanguard's mounts or anything else besides your own character. And each time you clear one of these, they open up a new one. This isn't bad. Not bad at all. These are good to start out with if you want to come in here and get some Magatamas. And then to leave, you go ahead and talk to him. Tell him you want to leave. Bam. That's set to know. Moving on, we have Amaterasu. Each title that is given on Amaterasu gives a certain stat bonus. Any stat bonuses you got dex, movement, speed. Each individual one is up to preference and it's completely up to you. However, only a certain amount of players can acquire each one, and if you're offline for a little bit too long, you can get kicked off of it. In my opinion, I'm currently using one that gives a little bit of every element bonus, Taka to Shingen. And to acquire them, you have to complete certain qualifications. So these are their qualifications here. You can read through it, see which one you want to go for. Pretty self-explanatory. They give these stats here for the entirety of the playthrough, unless you're offline for a certain amount of time. I believe it's a week. Pretty much all for her. She just boosts up your base stats, and I haven't covered these two over here yet, and that's for a good reason. She gives you some of the best enhancements that you can get all at once in the game. You can get a speed boost, which is called Moon King. Her liquor store pretty much gives you a wide range of everything you could possibly think of as a stat boost. Attack speed, magic cast speed, which also decreases your attack power. Weapon effective distance. Like, you can go for crazy builds with her just from these bottles alone. And you can get different bottles by leveling her up. You can change them out. Change them out, and then she'll give you a free bottle once you press on the house. She'll give you a free bottle on the house periodically, just like how the shop resets. She'll reset her own shop and give you one on the house. And when you drink it, it automatically puts the stat bonus on there for you. So let me go ahead and put the bottle on. Show y'all change bottle. This one. This is a SP recovery. So I changed my bottle, got the SP recovery, and go ahead and drink it. Now I have bonus to SP recovery. Be careful though, because there is a drunkenness level to each liquor that you drink, and you could fall out. Just be careful of that. However, That's pretty much it with her. She's just a stat bonus elixir boosting. Really up your builds with her. Moving on. Go ahead to Kaguya. Magatamas are probably one of the most important things in this game. You get the Magatama's recipes. Your bread and butter are going to be your 105s. Get your 105s, which is going to be either Skyrending,